Sorcerers! Josh here, and we have Erik's Curiosa's final schedule for event attendance for 2025 available to us. And there's a little thing that I found that I think is kind of surprising about this, but let's just dive in first to the actual schedule itself. So, first event that Erik's Curiosa is going to be a present at is Gen Con, July 31st through August the 3rd. I'm going to be at that event. I hope many of you are. It's going to be fantastic. Going to be the first Crossroads event ever. So a lot of hype around that. That event is currently completely sold out. However, there are many other sorcery events that you can sign up for if you haven't been able to sign up for a sorcery event, or if you made last minute changes and you're like, oh, I can make Gen Con, and you're going to show up. So there's definitely opportunities to play sorcery. Getting into that Crossroads event, though, may be a little tough. Now, given how lengthy that event is, some people tend to overbook themselves, especially come Saturday. You've had 2 full days of gaming, so some people may not show up. So there may be some room to get in there, so just keep your eyes open. Maybe someone will refund a ticket, whatever, and you will be able to get in if you're able to do that this late in the game. After that, we have the event that is in Gelsenkirchen in Germany. That is going to be the Crossroads event over in Europe. And it's not at an event as far as I can tell. It's not like it's not at Spiel, not anything like that. This event's going to be on September the 27th. Just one Crossroads and done, from what I can tell. I don't know if they're going to have more at that event. Didn't read through all of that, but that is the European Crossroads event. After that, at PAX Australia in Melbourne, we are going to have Melbourne. Yeah, burn. Erik's Curiosa is also going to be over there. October the 8th, that is going to be the Crossroads event in Australia. And then after that, we have a series of events in the U.S. at Star City Games conventions, Houston, Baltimore, and Las Vegas. I am going to be at Baltimore. The first, though, is Houston, which is October the 17th through the 19th. Baltimore is October the 24th through the 26th. And then Vegas is going to be November the 21st through the 23rd. Erik's Curiosa is going to be present. Each one of those events is going to have a Crossroads event. Now, the good news about Erik's Curiosa being at these events is, presumably, they will be offering Dragon Lord at each of these events. So, given the hubbub in the community over Dragon Lord's availability, what we know about the availability at this point, these events are probably going to be a very good opportunity for you to get your hands on Dragon Lord. Hopefully. That's my hope. So there is that. Now, beyond that, here's the thing that I'm surprised about. We have one Crossroads event in Europe. We have one Crossroads event in Australia and 4 Crossroads events in the United States. Now, the United States has the largest player base for sorcery. We're all aware of that right now. Europe is definitely growing. Australia is growing. But right now, US still has the largest player base overall. The thing that I'm looking at is those alternate art foil towers. I talked about this previously. Getting a set of those, since they are now region locked, is going to be much more difficult unless you're able to place very high in one of these events and get the full set. I believe it's the top 8 gets a full set of those alternate art foils. I think it's the top 8 at the Crossroads. I think so. So that's really, to just get the set, you have to place top 8 in one of these events. Otherwise, you're going to have to go out and seek them. And the problem becomes there's only one Crossroads right now in Europe and one Crossroads in Australia. Those are going to be the only chances to get the alternate art foils for each of those regions. To make matters even tighter, more than likely, those events will have lower overall attendance and participation than the events in the US, which means that the quantity of those that go into circulation of those alternate art towers may be even smaller. So if you were out there hoping to get these beautiful alternate art towers by Atlas and getting a play set or a set to display or whatever it is you would like to do, it's going to be tough unless you're a very good player and can place top 8 in one of these Crossroads events. That is why I'm like, man, that's, I do like, given the size of the team at Erik's Curiosa, attending this many events at the end of the year, I think is fantastic. I'm very happy to see that number of events. It's just kind of surprising that all of them are in the US, just based on wanting to distribute those foils. And the communities in Europe and Australia, they've always, especially Europe distribution-wise, has felt like they have kind of got the short end of the stick. They've not been able to get the products. It's been tougher. There have been issues just with distribution over there. So to only get one Crossroads is kind of an eh. Now, I will say, this is just through 2025. It is entirely possible that Erik's Curiosa is going to continue to offer these alternate art foil towers at future Crossroads events in 2026. So maybe that's the plan. They just needed to, okay, we've got to get the schedule in place for 2025. These are the events we're going to go to. And obviously, you all know I'm thrilled about Star City Games Con. I think it's fantastic that Erik's Curiosa is going to those events and going to be there. I think that's great. But just in terms of getting other Crossroads outside of the North American region, and obviously there's not one in Brazil. They just opened distribution down in Brazil, so there's not one there yet, which they would get the same tower as North America, so that isn't going to help with the tower issue I'm talking about. So the question becomes, are there going to be Crossroads in 2026 where you can get the alternate art towers and they are in those other regions, so more of those cards come into circulation and people can go through whatever method they need to trade for those, purchase those, whatever it is, to try to complete the set. Because I think many, many individuals are going to want to get their hands on that full set of alternate art towers. But overall, just in terms of the events, I think this is a solid schedule. It's far more events than Erik's Curiosa has ever attended. It shows the desire to grow the game, to present it, to grow the player base. And growing the player base helps everybody. Helps collectors, helps investors, helps us all. Because more players create demand, which creates value, all those good things. So, looking at the schedule, it's good. A little worried about getting those towers if we only end up with the 2 Crossroads. But hopefully, 2026, we see more of these events and those towers are continued to be offered. We obviously have no idea when they're going to stop offering those. It could be that this is going to last, let's say they call it a season. Maybe the season will be the kickoff is Gen Con, and the new season will begin with the next Gen Con. And that's kind of the season for offering these types of cool promotional foils. Offering it a year, and hopefully they can load in some more European and maybe, just events over there in Oceania in general to get some more of those offered so that more of those foils can go into circulation and more people have the opportunity to complete that set. But if you're into collecting, I think you have a new thing to really be looking for, because at least in the short term, this is going to be a highly, highly collectible set to get one's hands on. We all know what collectability leads to when it's like that, when it's tight. We're already seeing it with Dragon Lord. So, if you're looking to collect and you've been upset about all the things, here it is. This is something that looks like it's going to be highly collectible. And, let's say that there are more European and Oceania events. There aren't going to be a lot. It's not like there's going to be tons and tons of them. So no matter what, the number of those alternate art towers for Europe and for Australia, Japan, and that whole region is going to be very, very low. Obviously, there will be the sets of 8, or the sets given to the top 8 at each of these events, but that's still not like it's a whole ton of cards. So highly collectible. If you're looking for that, those are definitely going to be the thing to get. And I hope to see you at, some of these events. I hope all of you are able to attend the event. If you can, if you play Sorcery and you want to play in that type of environment, I hope you all can make it out. Looking forward to seeing all the coverage for all those events. And obviously, can't wait for Gen Con. It's going to be a fantastic time. Looking forward to seeing many of you again, talking to you, and hanging out and doing Sorcery. It's going to be a great time. As always, keep on contesting the realm!